Well, they do not have flashy uniforms or dreadlocks or big name recruits, but Kansas State is the #1 college football team out there right now. And what does that say about them, and why are they stealing our hearts? Ben Cohen, hi.
Hi.
You're here, live in the flesh.
Hello.
Kansas State? Really?
It's a great question. Kansas State, really what they're doing right now is making us question everything we thought we knew about college football.
Right.
Usually to be a #1 team, you have to have, you will probably have some type of history of tradition in your program, which we see in Notre Dame, which is undefeated right now. You might have more talent than everyone else in the country, which we see in Alabama, which was #1. Or if you don't have those things, you might make up for it with some type of strategic innovation or gimmickry or something on offense, which is what Oregon, which is on track to meet Kansas State, does. Kansas State does none of those things. The way that they're winning is it's just unheard of in
there are these
the
obscure
BCS.
things that they're doing well that people who aren't unless you're a football wonk, you wouldn't really pay attention to that. Some of these stats that they're doing particularly well in.
They're really well. First of all, they are really good on offense and defense, but they excel in these unsexy, overlooked parts of the game. They're #1 in the country in turnover margin. They protect the ball and they force turnovers. They're top 10 in the country in kickoff returns and punt returns, which means that they really play field position very well. So, and they believe in these type of down-home conservative values that their coach preaches. Work ethic, self-discipline, responsibility, commitment, things that aren't
no hats and jewelry in the locker rooms.
Yeah,
is that right?
Things that are kind of old school. And if that's why they're winning, we've never seen this before. And for a team like Kansas State, which traditionally was one of the worst programs in college football 20, 30 years ago, for them to be in a position to play in the national championship is unheard of.
When we come down to the bowl games, what do you expect to see?
I think Kansas State and Oregon, but Oregon, Notre Dame would be really fun. Oregon, Alabama. The other thing Kansas State has is they have the Heisman Trophy favorite, which usually Heisman Trophy favorites are celebrities. This kid, Colin Klein, could walk the streets of any major city completely unnoticed. He just happens to be the best college football player in the country right now, too.
Do you think this will make people look at football a little more statistically, given some of these more obscure stats that you mentioned, make people look at football more statistically like they do with baseball because the #1 team is doing so well in these obscure portions of the sport?
It's possible. It's a really good question. I haven't thought about it that much, but usually the top teams do excel in these statistical categories as well. They also just happen to have the best talent in the country. Kansas State's recruiting classes over the last 4 years are ranked 89th in the country of 120, 124 teams. For a team like, Alabama, Oregon, these are top 5, top 10 teams recruiting-wise year in, year out. Kansas State has junior college transfers and walk-ons and under-recruited players in starring roles, and yet somehow the